Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm in the inner courtyard of the Botanic Garden of Marburg, where they keep the less frost-hardy species. And it's really amazing what you can achieve in 350 meters above sea level. That's like over 1,000 feet in zone 7A. Actually, around here everything is zone 7A, even the lowlands. So you can see even the cultivation of wine is here very small scale and very, you can say anecdotic. They have like 50 grape vines hidden between the buildings. It's pretty hard to cultivate wine here. It's not really a wine growing climate, but it's amazing all the other stuff they managed to cultivate here. Right now the courtyard is full with a lot of plants in pots, which will be removed into the greenhouses soon. But let's see what they have permanently in the courtyard. Well, here, those two giant shrubs are the biggest silverberry shrubs I've ever seen. This is the earliest fruit you can expect in Germany. In good years, you get ripe fruit in February or March. And as you can see, those two shrubs are huge. 1, 2, basically the whole pathway goes underneath one of those shrubs. Well, here is Arundo Donax in the Heidelberg area, which should be sold 9A by now. Yeah, it's on 9A, and I think microclimate-wise it could even be up to 9B. Cultivating Arundo is not such a problem. Arundo is the giant reed from the Mediterranean. But here it's quite an achievement. The most amazing achievement for me are the pistachio trees. Look at the size of those pistachio trees, folks. Those people are cultivating pistachios in zone 7A. And they were not sure. They said probably at the time when those trees were planted, the area was still zone 6B. So that's really amazing. And at least one of them is hanging full of pistachios. They said they never get really ripe here. I'm not even sure if this here is really a male tree. If this is also a female tree, then there is no pollination here. But if this is male, then probably they get pollinated. Well, let me see if they are pollinated. They said they never get ripe, but they did not say they never get pollinated. So, should be quite interesting to find out. I think in order to find that out, I would have to trample through the nice flowers. I'm pretty sure they don't get pollinated, but at least you get pistachio trees surviving several decades and bearing fruit in zone 7A, verging on 6B. Not bad, I would say. Well, what have we got here? An almond tree. Yeah, cultivating almonds here is also quite an achievement. I mean, the old tree is almost dying. Basically, they cut off the old tree and then one shoot came up, and here is one single almond fruit. Still not bad. This could be a lotus plum. They are growing a lot of lotus plums here because this is not a lotus plum, but there are a couple lotus plums around here because it's a little bit too cold for kaki plums. Lotus plum is basically the little sister of the kaki plum. What do we have here? Cunninghamia lanceolata. In Heidelberg they are quite easy to grow, but here they have to hide them between the buildings. What have we got here? I don't even know what this beautiful vine is. Oh, here's some nice tree died. Well, here is an attempt at cultivating a real kaki plum. It's quite hard here and I don't see a single fruit. I really wish them luck with that kaki. It's really hard to cultivate something like this in this climate. Here we have a couple other non-frost hardy species. Well, most of them are in pots. Good idea. Mahonia japonica, but no fruit on this one. Acacia, I think. This here, I think, is some viburnum, but I always forget the name. Here's some pistachio trees in pots. And here, the biggest lotus plum tree they have in this botanic garden. As I said, this is the substitute for kaki plums in less temperate areas. And as you can see, even their biggest lotus plum must have frozen down probably in the mid-90s, or maybe even around the year 2000. In 96, 97 and 2001 were pretty harsh winters. I really would like to know if they have, you know, in Heidelberg and Weinheim and other milder areas, this lotus plum is actually spreading. It's not invasive yet, but it's very easy to propagate it because you just have to dig out the seedlings. Here is an area where they don't do a lot of work, right underneath the lotus plum, but I don't see any seedlings. So the climate here is more or less mild enough to cultivate the lotus plums, but it doesn't seem to be mild enough for seedlings to survive. So folks, this was the inner courtyard, the non-publicly accessible inner courtyard of the Marburg greenhouses. Oh, look, here is some monk's pepper, Vitex agnus, well, some Vitex species. I'm not sure if it's Vitex agnus castus, but as you can see, this Vitex shrub is quite thick, thicker than my arm, so it must have survived a lot of more or less harsh winters here. Yeah, in Heidelberg you can grow it in sheltered locations, but here, Zone A, Zone 7A, verging on 6B. This is really amazing. So folks, this was the non-publicly accessible inner courtyard of the Marburg Botanic Gardens greenhouses. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the Botanic Gardens of Marburg. Thumbs up to the great gardeners of Marburg for cultivating all those crazy things in this cold climate. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.